Because it's the hardest part of the ring. It's the hardest part of the ring. Okay, sometimes you go over that top rope and you bang your head on the ring apron. Don't do that. That's when you feel like a big dope. Because they're the worst bumps you can be taking. Oh, it's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Two more. Sometimes you reach out for the hot tag and you go ahead and make your own comeback. Knock it off. That's when you should quit wrestling. And you're better off rolling in thumbtacks. It's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. One more. Sometimes you're distracting that referee, and the babyface has your wrestler pinned. Then you get punched to the ring apron, and you realize all the trouble you're in when it's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Now double claps. Here we go, Bob Squad. It's one of the last NXTs before it's not really NXT. Let's go bananas on Hulu. Limited commercial interruption. Here we go. It's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Ba-da-ba-da. Whoa, yay. What is going on, Bob Squad? We are bushwhacking our way through another episode of Hardest Part of the Ring. What are we talking about? We are talking about the Hulu edition. The Hulu edition, the not limited enough commercial interruption Hulu edition of NXT for August 31st. 2021. It is the last NXT of August. It is the second to last NXT, not under Triple H's control. They've already got a new flashy logo that looks like Saved by the Bell Trapper Keeper. And everyone's doomed. And of course, there's going to be a wedding. September 14th is the first day that supposedly Vincent and Bruce are taking this thing over, according to the interwebs. And Pritchard loves wrestling weddings. It is not a coincidence that September 14th we have to have a goddamn wedding on NXT. Any business to talk about beforehand? I'm sure there is. What a great product it really was from the time. It was like the hit of the network when the network came out in February 2014. Like within a few months, like NXT was the thing to watch, and they had this charming 1 hour a week, this wonderful 1 hour wrestling show at 8 o'clock, and I think it became 2 eventually, of course. And all these cool new wrestlers that were wrestling in cool new ways with cool new gimmicks, and they were younger, and they had a younger crowd, and there was lingo that I didn't understand, but quite frankly, everyone looked like they were having a good time. It's basically what AEW has always tried to be, and they got it. And I really feel in 2019, right before they moved to the USA Network, it kind of fell apart. And it never really helped that NXT wrestlers would go on to Raw, SmackDown, and it used to be they'd probably do really well. Then it became 50-50, and then it became anyone who leaves NXT is doomed on the other shows. And that just kind of hurt the spirit of the thing, I think. Because now when they win the NXT title, it's not, wow, we saw the beginning of an amazing career. It's anyone who wins a big NXT main event match, you go, wow, they peaked. Which is impressive still that they were there at this level, but I don't know. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. You know what else didn't look good, but is still historic, and people still talk about it 34 years later? Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant. And that is how we open this program. Hulk Hogan slams Andre. I'm going to lean back. Hulk Hogan slammed Andre the Giant in the middle of the squared circle in front of 93,170 people, 173 people. That is how we open the show, Bob Squad. And finally, Mandy Rose, finally wrestles on a Hulu NXT. But he's been here for months. I try not to go off on the various hotness of various female personalities on these programs. Because that's silly, it's a waste of time, it's childish. With that said, Mandy is like abnormally hot. Like, you're not allowed to be that hot. I don't understand the problem. I think her and Carmella should be fined and suspended. No, you're not allowed to be that hot. It's just not right, quite frankly. I don't understand it. And I never will. So Mandy has 2 friends. I guess Mandy's a heel, which I didn't think was going to happen. I thought she was coming from Raw as a baby face. I don't remember Mandy ever wrestling in NXT. They keep saying she's returned. I think, didn't she skip and go right from Total Divas to whatever the hell? Monday Night Raw? Oh, am I wrong? I don't know. Anyway, she wrestles Sare, and I'm sorry this match was so long. This match was long. I was feeling sorry for myself. I'm gonna, I'm just gonna keep doing it. I'm just gonna keep doing it. Um, Mandy is two lackeys, so she's bad. No one's gonna boo. Mandy's just too hot. No one's gonna boo her. You're not allowed to. You can't do it. Does anyone boo Carmella? Honestly, is anyone upset? Doesn't matter what she does. I don't care. Either one of them can walk out, kick the Pope in the balls, take a dump in a King James Bible, whatever the fuck. Saint Shane King, who cares? Whatever they call it, it'll be right. And no one's gonna care. They're just gonna go, wow, that was an amazing dump. Alright, Bob, we went off the rails. So Sare has this match, and if you, I wasn't a fan. If you don't like it, I'm sorry you feel that way. They do a count out. You don't see a good old fashioned count out nowadays, which makes sense that you would. Because now they just the referee gets to 8 or 9, and then the referee walks out of the ring and forgets he was counting. It's very difficult. But I guess Mandy took a drop kick to the face, and her two lackeys were concerned about the damage to Mandy's face. So they take her away, and Mandy is counted out, and Sari wins the thingy. Okay. Well, if you were really sorry, you would apologize for the kick in the face. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. So here's the thing. Okay. Modern internet wrestling fans seem to really hate non-finishes. Any countout, any DQ, any non-finish or double DQ or any Broadway, whatever, any draw, any time limit draw, those don't exist anymore. Any non-finish, anytime no one's pinned or submitted, modern wrestling fans seem to get really upset. You got to build to something. When there's 8 trillion hours of TV a week and like 6.5 wrestlers because they keep firing everybody, you're gonna have to stall a bit. I still think they have more than enough wrestlers to not do rematches every week, especially on Raw. But you're gonna have to see some finishes that get stalled. You're gonna need that cocky heel champion that gets DQ'd on purpose. You're gonna need that. You're gonna need that baby face to be within a puppy's breath of getting a 3 count for the big title, but right before the referee hits 3, damn, that bell rings, time limit expired. Maybe that heel's foot was on a rope. Something. I don't know. You need to do that. I don't mind Sare winning by countout if it's going towards her and Mandy to have some conclusion to whatever their issue is. That's fine. But I wouldn't do a count-out finish if the match is going to be that long. Does that make sense? Because it's one thing for them to go back and forth 5, 6 minutes, okay, and it ends up being a count-out. That was like 2 segments. There was half a match, a commercial break, and a match. So I don't know how long the match was, but that's a much longer wait for a non-finish, and I think that kind of, I mean, it's a nitpick. It was something different. It was because I honestly thought, oh, she's the hot one. Sare didn't really take off, and Mandy's got 2 lackeys. So I just thought, oh, Mandy beats her, we move on. So I was surprised, but so I'm still for it. But I just didn't think it needed to be that long for that finish. I would have been fine if it was that long and it was like, okay, somebody won this thing. But then again, if you're gonna have Mandy be dumb, I mean, it looks like Mandy's the real focus here, and Sare's just kind of there. If Mandy is the real focus there, you'd want her to dominate and win a match more quickly. But it's a tough one. But it looks at least different from the other finishes on all the shows. So for that, I'll stay with it. Tommaso Ciampa cuts a great promo inside a self-storage unit for reasons unknown. But oh, he's great. And then, oh, the opening, yes. CM Punk on AEW comes out to a song from Living Color, and the new NXT logo looks like the opening of the old show on Fox in Living Color with the Wayans brothers. If you got that, cool. But you cannot do what you want to do in Living Color when you're Duke Hudson, because he got in there with Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly played he tried to play the air guitar, but he was beat up and he had tape on his ribs. He had that Cesaro tape on his ribs, selling the brutality of his bouts with Adam Cole. I knew this match was going to be good. I ended up liking it because right at the beginning, as soon as Kyle takes his shirt off, Duke Hudson, he looks at the ribs and just gives a nod and a point, like I got you. I know exactly what I'm going to do now. It's a nice little mini storytelling thing in a match. Like, oh, okay, I'm going to tell you how I'm going to get you. I'm going to tell everyone watching how I'm going to get you, and now I'm going to get you. And it was so small and so subtle, but I thought it was worth it. Duke Hudson even did the air guitar for Kyle O'Reilly. So Duke Hudson's a big, tall guy, wrestles pretty good. He's a believable asshole, good-looking guy. I'm all for him. Vince is going to love him. Uh, but Kyle should have won this match, I believe, and he did. Kyle did defeat him with a heel hook. He tapped out Duke. Duke just needed to be competitive and beat the crap out of Kyle. And he just needed to show. It was more important for Duke to show that he could be vicious and opportunistic and aggressive instead of just pinning Kyle. It was more important for Duke to beat the shit out of Kyle's ribs and be a dick about it instead of beating Kyle, if that makes any sense. So this show is 2 for 2 with me. Oh, both those matches get Mandy and Sarray get 14 stars, and Kyle and Duke Hudson get 1,100 stars. Okay, don't question the system. I don't have time to explain it right now. Some other time. We see an invitation for the wedding. Told you. There's an index shirt, and Beth Phoenix gives one to Wade Barrett, who tosses it away, and Beth Phoenix said she paid $25 for it, which is further proof of budget cuts, because Beth can't even get a free t-shirt. And then Ilya Dragunov, he limped. I love this. It's been a week and a half, and he limps to the ring. He's still bad. And he still looks like hell, too. His face is fucked up. I loved it. I loved it. He's banged up, and he just said, no more general. The Czar is here, and you know, I like being here, but I have to go back to my home country. I have to go back to my home planet now, like Poochie from The Simpsons, if you will. It basically gives a Poochie from The Simpsons speech. I have to go back to my home planet and defend this championship in front of no one because they're totally gutting UK and cherry picking the top 5 or 6 of them and killing that abortion, it looks like. So that's what's happening there. Johnny Gargano is in there with Index backstage, and Dexter sneaks up on him, and Johnny doesn't like that. And then there's some British guys. They got on TV and they looked at the camera and said, "We're British." And then Mandy Rose's lackeys beat up Sarray supposedly in the backstage. So sorry to hear that. How come no one else is doing that joke? Kills me. LA Knight wrestles Gargamel next. And this was interesting. I get another heel match. Not as topical as the heel match of Nia Jax and Charlotte earlier this week. But they did it, and it worked. Gargamel had to wrestle the babyface role, and it doesn't mean he's being a babyface. It means he has to fight from underneath and be the one to make the comeback. And of the two, LA Knight's going to get more boos anyway because Gargano's been there forever. They still have a lot of affection for Gargamel. And LA Knight also, he didn't just get there, but he was mean to Cameron Grimes, who's their lovable goofball. And a few weeks ago, he punched $1 Million Man on Hulu, even though, well, not on Hulu. He punched $1 Million Man on NXT. So Gargamel's going to get cheered anyway. So it just made sense for Gargano to wrestle that way. And they did a goofy spot where Gargamel falls off the ring apron, which, by the way, hardest part of the ring. And then what happens? Sorry, I watched this a day ago. I'm sorry, guys. Dexter Lumis catches Gargamel, like Gargamel is the guy he's going to marry. And then Gargamel stumbles into LA Knight's finish. 1, 2, 3. LA Knight wins. And this will give LA Knight... hopefully he'll be one of the people that gets that Samoa Joe rematch. I mean, it looked like they were setting up Joe and Pete Dunne. But I think Joe and LA Knight will just have a better build and have better promos. And I love Pete Dunne, but I think Knight and Joe was just more interesting because Knight is more flash and sizzle to counteract Joe, and Pete Dunne is too much like Joe in demeanor. If that makes any sense, it's just kind of I think we just saw that with Joe and Cross. Now I'd rather see a different. So I'd rather see Knight and Joe for just that reason, just a little color, a little flash and sizzle on the whole thing. Dexter Lewis he made me laugh here for the first time ever in like a year and a half of dumb bullshit. He he knew he messed up, but he can't talk ever, so he just made those kind of eyes, like those puppy dog, not puppy dog eyes, like I'm a big sorry puppy dog, but like I'm looking around like I know I'm in trouble, and it was kind of funny, just the way he did it. It worked. We got something, something out of him, so it's not just Indy Hartwell over emoting and all that crap, and or Gargamel over emoting for that point, or Candice LeRae over having a baby or something. MSK, Memorial Sloan Kettering, the Midget Street Crew is back. They tell William Regal, "You're British," and he goes, "Yep." And then Frankie Monet wrestles Jessie Kamea. Well, no, she has Jessie Kamea and Robert Stone by her side, but Jessie Kamea is wrestling, and she wrestles Raquel Gonzalez. This did not help Raquel Gonzalez at all. Raquel has been in there with Ember, Rio, Dakota. That's the most recent three, right? She probably wrestled that Zoe Stark a few times, who, I guess, are Zoe and Io Shirai still the NXT Women's Tag Champs? I've seen nothing from them in like months. But, I mean, this was a lot of general sloppiness and whatnot, and I think Jessie just wasn't in the ready. I don't think Jessie's ready to be in a ring with Raquel. But all of it was forgivable until the finish. Raquel did that booby slam. I don't know what else to call it. She did the booby slam on Jessie, and how did Jessie Kamea, who's lighter than Ember and probably lighter than Io, and probably doesn't weigh that much more than Dakota, how did Jessie Kamea get up the least for Raquel's finish and like kind of crumble, bump it down? Like it didn't. Raquel did not look good here, and it wasn't good. It should have been. If you're gonna do a 30-second match, this should have been a 30-second match, not Becky and Bianca, for God's sakes. That's idiotic. No, this should have been booby slam and get up there. 1, 2, 3, goodbye. Because we're just going for Frankie and Raquel anyway. And Frankie, in all her glory, she's just too much fun. Frankie Monet looks to me, I'm watching her, and I'm thinking, if I work in any kind of customer service role, whether it's retail or bartender, any kind of customer service, and I see that woman coming, I'm jumping off a bridge because my life's about to be miserable. It works. Again, I think she's really just there to keep Raquel busy until they do Raquel and Kaylee Ray. But what happens next? Wade Barrett and Samoa Joe are talking. Wade says, "I'm British," and Joe says, "I'm Samoan," and then they both have a diet Dr. Pepper, which tastes just like regular Dr. Pepper. Tommaso Ciampa wrestles Ridge Holland. And what happens here? Why does the referee let 18 heels stick around? I don't understand. They pulled Ridge out of the way one of Tommaso's kicks right in front of him, and he's like, "Hey, I wish you wouldn't do that so much." Okay, thanks. So I know one takes it seriously. Tommaso Ciampa, to my surprise, wins. I thought Ciampa was just on all right, they're done with him. He's not a fraction of the killer he used to be. He's just another guy on a roster now. I thought they were going to beat him for Ridge like they did with Thatcher a week or two before. Last week, yeah. I was pleasantly surprised. I'm a big Tommaso Ciampa fan. I think he had one of the greatest NXT championship runs that there really ever was. He made that thing important, and he was a killer, and he made beating him important. And the next thing you know, he's getting pinned by the Midget Street Crew and clean, and it's just embarrassing. Losing to Cole, lost to Walter, which is all right, but jeez. Yeah, forgive me. I'm a little tired, Bob Squad. Pardon me, guys. The Ciampa beats him, But then they all beat down Tommaso Ciampa, and there's a bunch of Joe chants. Everyone wants Samoa Joe to come out. So naturally, MSK comes out, and MSK sucks so bad. Nick Carter is making all these goofy, I'm a pro wrestler babyface making a save faces because he runs in and right as the heels roll out over the apron, which is the hardest part of the ring, Nick does that cheesy thing where he goes to grab nothing because he's not grabbing anywhere near them and bounces his chest off the top rope, which makes no sense because, like I said, they were laying down on the apron, which is the hardest part of the ring. So he wouldn't have been able to grab them anyway. Why wouldn't he reach through and do the I'm barely missing trying to grab? He just did that because he's seen wrestlers do it, and it looks really stupid. They don't look tough coming out. It looks really bad. I don't believe for 1 second that Danny Burch is getting beat up by anyone in the MSK. I don't buy it. Not a terrible show. Yeah. I don't know, Bob Squad. NXT's in trouble. It's all coming to an end. It's all coming to an end. What else we got going on this week? Oh, I hope to record another Beach Town with Jesse very soon. I want to do the movie Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire and whoever the hell that good actor guy who played Dr. Octopus. I want to do that. I want to do Spider-Man 2. I have no time to watch this movie. I have no idea when I'm watching it. We have to record soon. But I'd like to do that. I hope you enjoyed. You saw the Castle Grayskull fun boxing. I mentioned that on the Monday Night Raw, hardest part of the ring. And I'm going to do a bonus. I'm going to upload a little stand-up comedy set of myself doing 15 minutes at the Comedy Store in La Jolla. Just a little something different, just to change it up. And that's really where I was. This thing would have been out 24 hours ago, but I was doing that. So I got to be a bit more selective with what I do. I can only get one little project in here or there with my evenings now. So be patient. The hardest part of the ring is not going anywhere. You're just going to get it a little bit later than you're used to. But everything's still happening. Just slower. Closer to death. Alrighty. You crazy cats. Well, next week when... What matches? They didn't advertise any matches for next week, did they? Oh, they did. MSK versus Birch and Lorcan. Well, rest assured at some point MSK is going to do a bunch of stupid dives to the outside of the ring. And one of them is going to get caught, and they're going to land on the apron, which is the hardest part of the ring. It's the hardest part of the ring. Ba-da-ba-da.